If we are one, how do we rise above the growing turbulence of this current world drama we are all facing today and find balance through the eye of the needle in our quest and pursuit for spiritual enlightenment? In our last episode, we spoke of the origins of hate founded in fear and how it, through distorted perception, manipulation, and repeated messaging, can translate into the motivations and actions of so many people's belief systems and worldview. We delved into the power of belief and how it serves as a direct manifestational catalyst for the law of attraction. We also talked about the relationship between our human mind and our higher self, and how we can establish better communication and clarity between the two. But in the midst of this ever-growing cognitive dissonance we are all facing, how do we find balance and connectedness to source energy despite this continuous discordant morass? Well, we can learn to do this by cultivating an inner steadiness, becoming more the observer and less the direct participant, more in it but not of it. We can do this by practicing detachment and asking, what is the spiritual lesson here? Keep in mind that detachment does not mean indifference. We can still feel empathy and compassion, not emotional numbness, while looking at every circumstance as an opportunity for growth and enlightenment. We practice balance, not by denying challenges, but by creating inner harmony so as to remain centered despite external chaos. So, if we are one, how do we exercise our own innate spiritual powers of manifestation in such a way as to better guarantee the best possible outcomes? How do we practice inner guidance, recognizing synchronicity as an essential component in our day-to-day activities, and long-term affirmational guidance for our most optimal spiritual course and direction? Hi, I'm Darrell T. Johnson. I'm a musician, a teacher, and a QHHT hypnosis practitioner. I'd like to welcome you all to episode 4 of If We Are One. It's so good to be with you again. In this episode, I would like to dig deeper into our innate powers of intention and manifestation, both from a conscious exercise of creating the most optimal reality that you may want in life, and a cautionary perspective in being mindful of your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. We will also get a better understanding of how synchronicity plays such an integral part in the understanding of our course direction and interconnectedness to our higher self, always dedicated to guiding you and providing for you moment by moment. We've skipped the rocks over some of these concepts already in our earlier installments, but I really want to dig down deeper into certain key components and practices that, if understood and done properly, will ensure greater consistency in the attainment of the things you truly want in life. So, if you are ready, let's begin. Now, I want to preface my focus today by stating something that you may not quite be aware of or appreciate. That is, We are all spiritual masters in training. Our incarnation on this earth, especially at this time in its history, is an acknowledgement of you working through this master class of spiritual unfoldment, self-realization, and eventually God realization. Your participation in this current changing world dynamic is an acknowledgement that you are here because you have a very important piece to contribute to the whole of this major spiritual awakening event that is currently taking place. You've heard the term, God doesn't give you anything more than you can handle. This is in fact true, despite whether or not you exercise your true power. For if you are not equipped with the means and ability to handle this volatile 3D existence at this time, you would not be here now. So give yourself a little more credit, a little more unconditional self-love, and start to remember and do the things that will help activate your true innate power. That's what we're here now to do. Now, as the title of this episode indicates, I would like to provide you with 4 keys to getting a better handle on your powers of manifestation, as well as things to be mindful of in your daily life. These 4 keys of manifestation are: 1. Set a clear intention. 2. Accept the gift before it is received. 3. Follow your passion daily. And 4. Stay in the now while practicing gratitude. Now, these steps are closely linked to the concept of synchronicity. And we will certainly talk more about that after we wrap up these first. So number 1, set clear intentions. As I had mentioned in an earlier episode, be clear about what you desire, what you intend, and frame your intention in such a way as to evoke positive outcomes as opposed to warding off negative outcomes. Remember my reference to anti-war versus pro-peace? One is negatively charged while the other is positively charged. It makes a difference and will set the stage for optimal manifestation by aligning your mental and spiritual focus towards positive outcomes. It also helps you by getting you in the habit of thinking more in a positive-centric manner. Your thoughts are things, and they are the precursors to your innate manifestation ability. Now, visualization is a very powerful tool here. It allows you to see the things that you wish to manifest in such a way as to create an emotional resonance and excitement for the things you want. It's important to understand here that your emotional energy tied to the things that you wish to manifest is the pull-through energy under which manifestation outpictures into physical reality. It's what brings a thing from the higher planes into the physical plane. See yourself doing the activity or engaging and enjoying the thing that you have received. Feel the excitement of doing that experience or having that thing present and in the now. Go ahead and be specific about the things that you want. Create that experience in your mind and in your excitement. Feel yourself there, in that moment. Move through the experience. We'll delve deeper into visualization in just a moment. Number 2, accept the gift before it is received. Now, this is an interesting and important perspective that you will need to cultivate if you haven't already done so. Now, before I get into the meat of this, I want to first talk about prayer. Now, what is prayer? Prayer has a very broad meaning. It can be thought of as the act of deliberately communicating or seeking a connection with an object or sacred deity of worship through words, thoughts, or intentions. It often involves asking for help, expressing gratitude, offering praise, or pursuing a relationship with the divine. More often than not, though, it is a supplication of petition. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the formation of the desired outcome of that petition, very often the request is made in such a way that it fails to have its desired effect. Here's what I mean. Whenever a prayer of petition for a desired outcome is invoked, it is often done something like this. Please grant me this or that, or I wish to have X or Y. This seems all right on the surface, but there's a subtle flaw in the wish itself. The problem is this. It is unknowingly asking for the thing itself to occur in the future and not in the now. It's always pushing it forward into the wishful desire of a thing that will occur, instead of it actually being received. The key is to accept the gift before it is received. As a prayer, a good illustration might be something like this. Thank you for the gift of X and Y in the perfect way. This allows the desired petition to be placed in the now instead of the wishful future, and in the best way possible. Now, another perfect illustration of this is an affirmation that I like to call the 3-point affirmation. Here's how it goes. I want you to listen carefully. I accept the perfect, fill in the blank, with the perfect, fill in the blank, in the perfect way. Now let's break this down into its key components. First, I accept blank. Notice the use of the word accept. You cannot accept something unless you have first received it. So by using the term I accept, you are bringing the manifestation from the future into the now. You accept the desired thing that you are manifesting. Also notice the use of the adjective perfect. You don't know what the perfect thing might be, but Spirit does. And by virtue of this insight, it will be perfect. Now for the next section. With the perfect blank. Now here is your opportunity to insert certain important conditions or parameters into your manifestation. But I would caution you to limit your specificity in this regard. Don't go overboard. I'll give you an example of this. Let's say that you are looking for a job. Your manifestation affirmation may sound something like this. I accept the perfect job with the perfect pay or salary. Now, notice that you set a condition, but you didn't get too specific. Now, you could add something more like working conditions or something like that. Now you're ready to close the loop, and this will bring us to the close of the affirmation. In the perfect way. Now this may actually be the most important component of this affirmation. For let's be honest here, you don't know what the perfect way is. And you don't need to. But Spirit knows and will bring it about in the perfect way. So the example that I have given in its entirety would be, I accept the perfect job with the perfect pay and working conditions in the perfect way. Simple. Done. Again, try not to add too much more than one or two conditions. and only if they are essential. Now, once this is set in motion, I would cultivate an attitude of unwavering faith that the desired outcome is both achievable and has already happened. You just haven't seen it yet. Think of it like when you have purchased something on, say, Amazon or another online retail outlet. You've made the purchase and the transaction is complete. You now have the item. It just needs to be shipped to you. But you already have it. You see what I mean? Your manifestation attitude has the same degree of certainty. Now, a supportive visualization that may be helpful in this affirmation, or by itself, is one that I call got it, have it, live it. Let's use the job example again. It works something like this. Got it. Visualize yourself at that moment when you receive a phone call from a would-be employer that you were interviewed earlier, informing you that you had just been hired for the job and they want you to start next week. Feel the excitement of this moment. Hear yourself talking to the person on the other end of the phone, ironing out all the details. Have it. Visualize yourself arriving on the first day of your job. You are sitting at your brand new work desk and you've been placing items that you brought from home with you as a way of personalizing your office. See yourself making desk or room adjustments and getting office phone calls, confirming orientation meetings and other introductions of co-workers and all of these type of things. Feel the excitement of meeting new people and getting the lay of the land. Finally, here's the last one. Live it. Now this one is kind of interesting because a small amount of time has passed. Visualize yourself a few weeks into your new job. You've gotten oriented and are in the rhythm and flow of your job experience. You have just been told by your boss that something has come up and you might have to work overtime for today in order to resolve the issue. You had plans for the evening, but you now have to call and cancel them. That's it. Practice these 3 visualization experiences. Now, in the first one, your excitement is found in the moment when you first find out that the manifestation is real and that you've gotten it. The second visualization puts you right in the excitement of your first day, when everything is new and maybe a little scary. But you are happy to be where you want to be. The third visualization is interesting. You have been there for a little while, and the newness of the experience has worn off. You even have some minor stress at having to cancel personal plans for the job. Now this one is especially interesting because you would never have this feeling unless you were actually working at your perfect job in the first place. Now practice and play with these visualization templates, making them specific to your own personal manifestation goals. Now, let's move on to number 3. Follow your passion daily. You have now set the wheels in motion for your manifestation to occur. It has already been created on the inner. Now all you have to do is act on your intuitive nudges and opportunities created through synchronicity to ensure that it outpictures in the perfect way physically. Now it would be great if we could just think a thing and it just pops into existence like a genie. But we live in a 3D world of action. This is the plane of action. We must do the work in order to receive the gift. It's probably best that we don't have the ability of instant manifestation, for without mental discipline in monitoring our thoughts, all chaos would occur. Now, this is where your opportunity and your partnership with your higher self becomes crucial in the day-to-day pursuit of your passion, of your goal. Each day, take it as far as you can until you can go no further for the moment. Await your higher self and spirit for next steps. If you are awake and aware to the realization that you are being given clues all the time to what to do next, and that you only need to practice your inner gifts of intuition, inner dialogue, and observing the symbols that are all around you, you should be fine. Now, there's one aspect to this phase of your manifestation that is important. Once you have taken your activity as far as you are able, let it go and turn it over to your higher self, to spirit. Take away your desire for any particular outcome. Just move on to the next phase of your process, listening to your inner guidance and staying in the moment. One thing that is definitely worth mentioning here is that within the development of your visualization experience, you may create specific parameters on how your manifestation should occur. However, once you actually start to see the magic of your manifestation unfold before your eyes, it is important to drop your visualization completely and simply go with the flow of your journey to the end point of your out-picture creation. The reason for this is something that I mentioned before. You don't know enough. Now, what I mean by this is you may have conjured up in your mind what you think is the best manifestation scenario and means of attaining it. But by you placing your specific conditions on this manifestation, you are in fact limiting the possibility of it being 10 times, 100 times greater than you could ever imagine. Again, you don't know, but Spirit does. Drop the vision when things really start happening and just go with the flow. So it is crucial to understand that manifestation is co-creative, requiring purposeful movement toward your goals with the partnership of your higher self and spirit. Now this brings us to number 4. Stay in the now while practicing gratitude. Being in the moment while expressing gratitude for what is here and now and for progress toward your goal is an absolutely essential component in reinforcing an abundant mindset. It also ensures continued positive outcomes through the law of attraction. But how do we maintain that positivity and not get caught up in any perceived bad outcomes during the journey? Remember what I stated at the beginning of this episode? It had to do with practicing a more spiritual attitude of detachment. Again, we could learn to do this by cultivating an inner steadiness, becoming more the observer and less the direct participant. More in it, but not of it. By practicing detachment and always asking, what is the lesson here? We can maintain a balanced attitude and remain steady during times that may be perceived as less than optimal. Again, we practice balance, not by denying challenges, but by creating inner harmony so as to remain centered despite any tests that we may encounter. One other aspect of this manifestation experience is monitoring one's own growth and inner changes during this experience. When using visualization during these pursuits, it is not only important to see the thing that you are creating, but also to take note of the person that you are in the visualization experience. How does this person respond to the success of his or her own creation? How do you carry yourself in this scenario? Who is this new person having this amazing experience? If you notice your inner person carrying themselves in such a way that is consistent with who you would like to be in that reality, then carry yourself in that way now. Be that person. Respond in the manner consistent with how that you would respond. There's a term, fake it till you make it. But this is not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is more in the manner of be it before you see it. Now, on a side note, I hope this new person is one of integrity and kindness. I hope he or she is not an a-hole. Just saying. Okay, so now I want to talk about synchronicity as it relates to manifestation. Just to recap on the definition of synchronicity, it is the appearance of meaningful coincidences. And again, there is no such thing as a coincidence. And signs, symbols, confirming that thoughts and energy are aligned with your desires. These meaningful correlations direct your attention to opportunities, or in some cases, solutions that would otherwise go unnoticed. It provides you with external validation and clues to next steps for intuitive action. This is your communication protocol with your higher self and spirit. It's important to understand that synchronicity is spirit's way of letting you know that everything is connected. And from a nonlinear space-time perspective, everything is in fact here and now. This is why it is able to connect you to future possibilities, because it knows in advance that they will occur. And it creates the conditions by which you, in your active manifestation, can connect at the perfect time, the perfect place, and in the perfect way. Things that are aligned with your creation. You may be operating in a linear fashion, but synchronicity is not. Tapping into and living within this synchronicity experience increases your motivation and optimism, reinforcing your belief and trust in your higher self and the manifestation process. You more and more start to see the miracles unfold before you. Your manifestation, coupled with an acute awareness of synchronicity, allows you to lift the veil once and for all of your perceived limitations and shows you in no uncertain terms who and what you actually are as a spiritual being having a human experience. So I know that I've given you a lot to take in right now. And I would encourage you to listen to this episode more than once so you can capture the nuance of the direction. All of this is to help you gain a better understanding of your innate power of co-creation with all that is. Remember, we are all that is in action. We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. The more you exercise your innate abilities, the more you begin to awaken to your true self, your God self, and realize more and more that your reality is of your own creation, not anything outside of you. Once you grasp your power and remember who and what you actually are as a spiritual being having a human experience, nothing or no one can ever take that away from you again. You become the I am. You become self-realized and eventually the master of your own experience. This is the goal. This is by design. This is your opportunity. I hope that you embrace it. Well, I think this is plenty to take in for now. So we will leave it here. But there's one more thing I'd like to mention before we wrap up. Your spiritual awakening is a key component in the inevitable shift in our current world consciousness. When a person comes into their own spiritual awakening, the magnitude and power of that moment is exponential and impacts the world in a major way. There's a saying that goes, "A rising tide lifts all boats." It is estimated in some spiritual circles that it will only take between 3 to 5% of our current world population to come online spiritually for the inevitable shift in world spiritual enlightenment to occur. With the current population at 8.25 billion as of this recording, 5% would mean that approximately 412,500,000 people would only be needed to spiritually come online on this planet for the spiritual tipping point to be assured. So wake up, my people. I want you to please do your part to be that beacon of light, that beacon of truth, of hope, so that those around you can feel you, see you, and join in on this righteous cause of spiritual awakening and self-awareness. We'll be talking more about these and other topics in future installments. And if there is anything that you would like for me to discuss, please feel free to mention it by leaving a question or a comment in the comment section. As always, if you have found any of this information helpful or enlightening, please like, subscribe, and share with others. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. I love you all. And as always, if we are one, let's all live in peace, love, and joy.